Welcome to the Team USA briefing on the U.S. presence at the upcoming Paris Air Show. My name is Tom Kallman, the President and CEO of Kallman Worldwide, the organizer of the USA Partnership Pavilion, and producer of Apollo 50, America's Invitation to Partnership, and host of this afternoon's event. Team USA at the Paris Air Show includes more than 5,000 U.S. men and women in business attire and in uniform, whose dedication and professionalism assure continued success of one of America's most vital export sectors. Those men and women take to the field in 10 days' time, and we here on this panel have the honor of representing them today. To my right sit the captains of Team USA, the starting lineup, including government leaders, industry giants, and globally recognized extraterrestrial explorers. And it is my honor to introduce, at center, our All-American from Yale and Harvard Universities, the 39th United States Secretary of Commerce, the Honorable Wilbur Ross. At point guard, yay, you can applaud if you want. At point guard from Rice University, naval aviator and proud Oklahoma Air National Guardsman, the Honorable Jim Bridenstine, NASA Administrator. At power forward, representing the finest fighting force on the planet, graduate of the Connecticut College, whose camel mascot also celebrates its 50th anniversary this year, the Honorable Ellen Lord, United States Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment. Madam Undersecretary, good to have you. At small forward, the spokesperson for the United States aerospace industry, whose nearly 340 members will announce billions of dollars in sales and bring home from Paris first-place accolades in every discipline of aviation. Formerly the 22nd United States Secretary of the Army from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and Dartmouth College, the Honorable Eric Fanning, President and Chief Executive Officer, Aerospace Industries Association.
And could have been my neighbor.
And finally, at shooting guard, from the United States Military Academy Class of 55, fighter pilot, test pilot, and 11-time guest on the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood Television Show, Al Warden, USAF retired, Command Module Pilot, Apollo 15. Now let's get serious. Since Orville and Wilbur Wright, the undisputed conquerors of controlled flight, participated in the very first aerospace gathering in Paris in 1909 until today, the United States has been the dominating international presence at the world's largest aviation event. 110 years later, the Salon de Aeronautics boasts 2,453 exhibiting companies from 49 countries. 350 of those companies, a total of 14%, are American. More than 142,000 professional attendees will visit those displays, most of which will be presented in the show's 26 national pavilions. And among those 26, the largest international pavilion by far is the U.S. Partnership Pavilion, that my company and I have had the honor of organizing and growing since 1995. As a strategic partner of the International Trade Administration and proud recipient of the DOC's Presidential E Award, Kallman Worldwide organizes the USA Partnership Pavilion at all 13 of the world's leading air shows. And specifically at Paris this month, the USA Partnership Pavilion will feature 276 companies on display, 64 of which are new to the show, 48 of which are new to the French market. Our exhibitors come from 35 different states, and we proudly boast cooperation with and participation of 20 state pavilions. All of this in an area of 6,427 square meters, or roughly 1¼ football fields. For more than 50 years, the USA Partnership Pavilion has been creating unique opportunities for U.S. companies to strengthen business relationships around the world by maximizing their impact at international trade shows. In 2019, of course, space in Paris means more than just exhibit space. 50 years since Apollo landed America's men on the moon, Kallman Worldwide is proud to lead the presentation of Apollo 50, America's Invitation to Partnership at the Paris Air Show, as part of NASA's Apollo 50 campaign. The Paris Air Show is particularly appropriate setting for the global celebration of this milestone anniversary, As you'll note from the historic rendering out in the hall of the 1969 U.S. Pavilion that our Commerce Department partners Kim Wells and Scott Kennedy brought here today, the U.S. Pavilion at the Paris Air Show in '69 was themed around Apollo 11. And as you can see from the preview, even featured the base of the Saturn V rocket as you entered the building. If you haven't had a chance, take a look at that rendering outside on your way out. At this month's La Bourget, we're producing a week-long program of high-profile activities and events to engage, educate, and excite the global aerospace community to invest more time and money in innovation and to help position U.S. industry as every investor's top-of-mind partner. The theme of the Apollo 50 Paris program is "We're all on a mission." That message evokes the team spirit of Apollo, a famously massive workforce of more than 400,000 from some 20,000 companies and universities to connect American stakeholders and interests in all sectors, business, commercial, military, and space, represented at Le Bourget. To punctuate the message, Apollo astronauts Walt Cunningham, Charlie Duke, and Al Worden will be with us in Paris as our mission crew and industry ambassadors. Please look over the information provided in the media kits. Pay special attention to the Launchpad schedule. This is our industry forum with outstanding subjects and global panel discussions all lined up. Administrator Bridenstine and Eric Fanning, we very much look forward to both of you participating on the session focused on international cooperation on Tuesday the 18th. Ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set. The team is all suited up. And in the USA Partnership Pavilion, we've done our best to align our program with what the administration is doing to promote U.S. aerospace and defense competitiveness year-round. And now it is my great honor to yield the podium to the leader of our commercial competitiveness in every industry sector, the United States Secretary of Commerce, Wilbur Ross. Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Tom, for that introduction, that sporting introduction. I knew we were on a mission. I didn't know we were part of the halftime show. But seriously, thank you and your staff for all of the work that you're doing to organize and promote U.S. participation at the Paris Air Show. I'm here simply to discuss U.S. government's participation in the show. It will be the largest and most dramatic ever, just as our aerospace and space industries are more vibrant than ever before. The U.S. has the world's largest and most competitive aerospace and outer space industries, and that's why 350 American companies will present at this year's show in Paris. Our industry has a lot to show off. American companies produce the most innovative, highest quality, highest value-added products sold wherever there are flying machines. U.S. aerospace industry actually has the largest trade surplus of any manufacturing segment, $88 billion last year. And of the $215 billion total U.S. aerospace production, $150 billion, or 70%, is exported. We are the largest exporter of aerospace equipment in the world. And we will have a strong contingent of federal government officials attending the Paris Air Show in addition to myself. There will be representatives from Department of Defense, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Army, and the Departments of State and Homeland Security, as well as the FAA, naturally NASA, and the Export-Import Bank. We will celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Apollo moon landing. With the presence of 3 Apollo astronauts who are part of those missions. Walt Cunningham from Apollo 7, Charlie Duke from Apollo 16, and Colonel Al Worden, the command module pilot for the Apollo 15 lunar mission in 1971, from whom we'll hear shortly. It's great to be in the presence of the pioneering individuals who circled and walked on the moon. 50 years have gone by without our returning. Therefore, today, a majority of Americans, 211.6 million, or 65%, were born after 1969, and consequently they have no personal recollection of the moon landing and the excitement it generated the world over. We need to change that, and we're going to change it fast. President Trump has directed that we put astronauts back on the moon by 2024. And this time, it will not be just men, there'll also be a female presence. The key messages in Paris will be the U.S. aerospace industry is stronger than ever, and partnerships are important in a world where there are many alternate views about the future of space. Within the Trump administration and the Commerce Department, we see the future of space as overwhelmingly commercial. This is why we will meet later this month on June 26th and 27th at the Space Enterprise Summit, which I will co-host with Secretary Pompeo here in Washington. There's a lot happening in the area of commercial space. Tomorrow, NASA will be announcing new contracting opportunities for the International Space Station, and the National Reconnaissance Office has announced new contracts with commercial remote sensing industry, including companies like Maxar Technologies, Planet, and Black Sky Global. Last month, I signed a wide-ranging space MOU with the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg. Luxembourg is a small country but has had a meaningful presence in space since 1985. This MOU is indicative of the partnerships required to substantially expand the size and scope of the U.S. and global space industries. These include GPS, Earth imaging, telecommunications, asteroid mining, manufacturing, space tourism, and exploration. They all depend on space safety, space situational awareness, and the safe operation of satellites. Our Paris message is that all spacefaring nations must cooperate on common issues, such as tracking the thousands of pieces of space debris that could stifle the commercialization of space. Our country has experienced an incredible reawakening of its commercial space industry. Today, thanks to the infusion of new blood, new thinking, and a youthful cadre of enthusiastic engineers, scientists, and entrepreneurs, the U.S. space industry is being transformed. In the tradition that has defined this industry since brothers Wilbur and Orville Wright were the first to fly, a new generation of entrepreneurs now dominates space activity. For these companies to reach their potential, the U.S. government must eliminate unnecessary regulatory barriers to growth. We look forward to working with other countries to create conditions by which these industries can flourish. I look forward to being in Paris with so many innovative companies and officials from other governments and their space agencies to foster technical, regulatory, and financial conditions for the global aerospace economy to grow and prosper. Thank you.